Hello everybody, Stuart from Riku here. Today I want to show you a new API out of a company from Germany which allows you to summarize large quantities of text. Now what I really like about this API is there is no token limitation to it, so you can put a good chunk of text in and get a summary out. We're going to show you how you can use this to summarize articles from TechCrunch and a few short stories. The implications of something like this for AI is quite significant, as if you are creating longer content with most of the large language models, you probably found yourself hitting token limits. So if you summarize your creation as you go, you can take that longer text, chunk it down into smaller bits and continue to write. It also means that if you are creating something like a chatbot, you can take a summary of the conversation and continue to keep the conversation going with more context in the back end. So this is super exciting and super fun to play with. Let's have a look at how it looks. So the website is neuralfinity.com. I will link to this down below if you want to sign up for the API beta. What you can do is you can see how to use it. There's JavaScript, there's Python, and you can also run it through sort of curl requests via Postman, which is what I like to do, as I don't like to use all of these coding languages. I try and do it in a no-code sort of way. And there's some more information below here. What we're going to do, we're going to go to TechCrunch. We're going to take a couple of articles. You can see these ones here. And we have a few short stories also. So the one thing that we need to remember when we copy this text is, due to us having to put it in a GraphQL format, it doesn't like line breaks. So any line break, oh, I just clicked on that. Didn't mean to do that. Any line breaks you need to replace with /n. It's very simple to do. I've done it in a text document and I'll be pasting that into Postman and I'll show you how it looks. So we have 4 articles here from TechCrunch and I'm too lazy to read them, so let's get summaries of them. So this Tumblr article, what I would do is I would come to my text document where I've replaced all of the line breaks with /n, and I have ran it. So you can see here is the post, here is the body. Remember, you need to set this to GraphQL. The header, there is an API key and a host field, which I have put in. Obviously, I won't be showing that because that is my private details. And generally, what you do, you put all of the text in between the 2 quotation marks and you hit send and it will work. So for this one, which the title of the article is "No, Tumblr is not bringing back porn," you get the summary. Users can now tag posts with labels pertaining to drug and alcohol addiction, violence and sexual content. Tumblr stopped allowing pornography in 2018 after the app was temporarily removed from the App Store. Users under the age of 18 will be automatically barred from seeing any content with community labels. Great, so it just seems like they are tidying up their platform, adding labels to make it better for sort of children and minors to be able to use it safely. So we can go back and we can look at the next one. So we've got BMW's most powerful SUV is a plug-in hybrid. You'll see that I've copied some of this text before. And if I take this from the text document, just notice that I didn't take this last little bit, so I'll just add that on the end here. I can take this into my text document. I can come back in. I can replace everything in here. And I can then hit send. So generally, based on the length of text, it can take a little bit of time for it to be able to work. So whilst it's sort of sending, I've done a few tests, sort of 20, 30, 40 seconds generally based on the length. The longer your text, the more it has to work, so the longer it's going to take to process. But for something like this in beta, that's totally acceptable. And we're just really looking at the potential of the outputs. So we come back to Postman, and we just wait for it to actually finish. So the BMW XM full-size SUV is the first electrified model from the brand's racetrack-ready M badge. 644 horsepower crossover, also rates the most powerful, most expensive vehicle in BMW's portfolio. When it goes on sale early next year, the 5-passenger will be the first ever high performance with an electric, and it looks like we have cut off there. I believe that there are a few settings with this API where we can actually change the length of the output and a few other things. I haven't dove that deep into it at the moment, but I will do so in future testing. So that is the second summary that we've got, looking at the BMW. And if we come back, we can look at an article from Cloudflare. You know, if I was trying to actually create something, you know, if I wanted to create a product on this, I could literally just scrape TechCrunch for whenever there was a new article. I could automatically take all of the text and I could automatically put it into a summarization tool like this, and I'd be able to then take that summary and feed it into, you know, a Slack channel or Discord, wherever I needed it. And then instead of actually keeping on top of the latest tech news, all I would have to do is I would just have to read those summaries every day, and it would save me reading a ton of text. So for someone lazy like me, it would be super useful to do that. So now we have the Cloudflare one generating. And after this, we also have an article on Instagram and a app which makes Instagram like the original version, apparently. And we will queue this up so it's ready to go in Postman. And we can see what that generation is going to look like. The Instagram is here. And we come back to Postman and we can see the Cloudflare summary. So the Cloudflare article was Cloudflare takes aim at AWS with promise of 1.25 billion to startups that use its own platform. And then the summary is Cloudflare will help connect startups that use its serverless computing platform to dozens of venture firms. The firms have collectively offered to invest up to 1.25 billion in the company. This is a smart incentive to entice more startups to use a now €5 product. So that's pretty good. Happy with that summary. We had the complete summary, which is awesome. We put in the Instagram, and we can send a request on this, and we can see how this is going to look. And the title of this one is The OG App Promises You an Ad-Free Instagram Feed. So let's see how close the summary is to that title and that input. And then after this, what I want to look at is I want to look at 2 short stories. So I just typed in fiction stories to try and get a chapter. We got a chunk story like this. It's fairly long, so I thought it would be a good use case just to show you that you can put something like this outside of the token limitations of most large language models and get a decent summary out of it. And then we have a fairy tale. So we have the Bogey Beast, again, which is fairly long in its length. And I thought it would be good to get a summary of this fairy tale. So we've got that coming in a second. We come back to Postman. We have the OG app gives users an ad-free and suggestion-free Instagram feed. It removes ads and suggestion posts from their home feed. The app lets users create alternative feeds and share them with friends. Great. Tells me what that article is about. Now if we come back to the short story, we can put this in. And we can see. Okay. Seems to be an issue with this one. Maybe there is a copying issue with some text not being correct. So let's skip over this and let's go to the Bogey Beast. And let's see if we can copy this in. Looks good to me. There's no green characters here. That's how, you can sort of immediately see if something is breaking the format for the GraphQL here. And if we come back to Chrome, we can see the Bogey Beast. Bogey Beast is a delightful fairy tale about how luck is all relative, from English Fairy Tales 1922. It's not something that I'm actually familiar with, so I'm actually quite interested in seeing the summary of this when it generates in just a few seconds. What I'll do is I'll link all of these articles down below, and I'll also link Neuralfinity so you can sign up if you want. This is really just a test to see how it performs based on doing these initial article tests. You could do this with TechCrunch, you could do this with BBC articles, you could do this with articles from any of your favorite sort of news sources or similar. I'm very interested in the applications of AI and condensing down text that you have in a prompt and continuing to do that as you continue to write to get something more powerful, more quality and longer. So there's a lot of application for this, and I'm excited to see where it goes. We have the summary for the Bogey Beast now. Peggy Drexler, John loved Mondays. He thrived at work and was unashamed of it. She says he hated temp work. It reinforced his feeling of instability, confirmed. But she said it gave him a chance to focus on what he loved, painting, short stories. He was a loser who couldn't. Okay. Not totally happy with that summary. Maybe let's just try it again to give it one more try. Remember, this is a beta product, so stuff like this can happen. Ultimately, what I found is the summaries tend to be pretty good. So it's something that I will probably experiment with putting some articles into a private Discord server and having them automatically generate summaries sort of one every day or something, just to keep on top of the main news or the main stories of the day. I think that will be super useful. Integrating something like this with different AI products and maybe having something like this in Riku in the future would be super helpful for people building out longer prompts and building out longer text and longer content ideas. So we're very excited by this technology, and we're excited to see where Neuralfinity take it next. But yeah, this is really just a video to showcase something new, something that's just come out in beta, and something that I think will be helpful to a lot of different people. Okay, looks like we have the same summary again. So yeah, it's a beta product at the end of the day. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like or subscribe. And if you are interested in playing with all the latest large language model technology for both image and text, consider signing up for Riku today. Thank you.